From Intel's headquarters in Santa Clara, California this morning, we have Stacy Smith, Intel's Chief Financial Officer. Nice to see you once again, Stacy. So record second quarter sales.
Good morning.
Intel making close to $3 billion in profits in those 3 months. Now, when people talk to you about double dip or even depression in the U.S. economy, what do you say to them when Intel is putting in these types of numbers?
Well, I think the second quarter results show that people and companies are investing in technology. As you said, it was an all-time record for us. It was the highest revenue, the highest gross margin, highest operating profit, highest earnings per share. And underlying that is some of the work we've done to improve our cost structure. But I think more importantly, it's the strength of our products and the fact that the enterprise market came back in the second quarter, and we saw server sales and notebook sales strong.
Yeah, Stacy, talk to me about growth, because you've predicted second quarter sales of 11.6 billion, pardon me, third quarter sales of 11.6 billion, which is actually 700 million more than the median analyst estimates. I just want to know where this demand is coming from. Is it from PCs? Is it from netbooks? Or is it from servers?
It's from all of the above. And I think the third quarter sales make sense in the context of what happened in the second quarter. We did $10.8 billion of revenue in the second quarter. We saw that companies were investing in infrastructure for servers. We saw that IP data centers were investing in the infrastructure for hosting all of that information in the cloud. We saw that people and companies were investing in notebooks, and we saw strong growth in netbooks. And then when you fast forward to our forecast for the third quarter, it's just up seasonally on the strength of that strong second quarter result.
Yeah, and Stacy, on the conference call, the analyst conference call an hour ago, we had Intel saying, I think Paul Altolini saying that we have these tablets not cannibalizing the segment right now. So what does that mean? The tablets are the future, but right now they're not taking over and dominating the sector?
Well, no, we see these as being complementary devices, much like how we've seen the netbook market play out. It didn't slow notebook sales, but it was just a new device that some people bought. And so specific to our business, we saw that netbook revenue was up 16% from the prior quarter, so we saw nice growth there. We saw great growth in the notebook segment of the business as well. And as we go forward and think about tablets, we see those as being very similar. It's another device that people will have. At Computex, there were 30 different designs that had Intel architecture inside of them running a variety of operating systems. We're excited about the segment, and we think we're going to be very well represented in the segment. It's a place where our technology really shines.
Okay, Stacy, we started off this interview and you talked about cost cutting at this point. Now you've raised your expectations for gross margins to a range actually above your 10-year average, maybe a 50 billion to about 65, pardon me, 50 cents to 65 cents. What about cost cutting and pricing in the future? Is this about higher demand right now, or is this about keeping costs down for the next 10 years or so?
Well, for us, it's both. And you're right. We have forecasted 66% gross margin for the year. As I think about the rest of the year, we're actually going to run a little bit above that. And it's a combination of the strength of our product lines, and so the mix that we're able to sell as we're bringing new products into the market, but also the hard work that we've done over the last several years to reduce our cost structure. We're achieving our lowest ever platform cost, and the combination of those two things is what gives us a really great gross margin.
Okay, well, speaking of gross margins, Stacy, in China right now we have wages being raised, and right now Intel is planning a $2.5 billion chip plant in the northern city of Dalian. How do you think that might factor into gross margins and profit margins for Intel? Is that a point of concern?
When we invest in a big manufacturing plant in a place, we have various things that we look at. We look at the infrastructure that's in place. We're making investments that are in the multiple billions of dollars. It takes many years to build, so we want a place that has a great infrastructure. We want a place that has just a high quality engineering and math-oriented workforce. And we look at cost, of which labor cost is actually a relatively small component relative to the other costs that come in. And so it's one of the things we watch, but it's not something that has me terribly concerned. And we're still really excited about the investment we're making in China, and that plant will come on in the back half of this year. We'll start seeing production out of it.
Okay, let's get a little more on China then, Stacey, because on the conference call as well, we have either Paul Altolini or yourself talking about China being slow going at first in the second quarter, but then good by the end of the quarter. Now, we do have talk of a possible slowdown right now in the Chinese economy. What exactly is Intel seeing?
You know, we saw that China over the course of the quarter was, pretty much as we expected and a little stronger than normal seasonal patterns. So we continue to see it as a very strong market. It's a significant growth driver for us. And I think we can just put that in the context of, over the next few years, China, from a consumption standpoint, from the technology that's consumed in the market, will be our largest market in the world. And so it's an important market. It's a growing market. And what we saw in Q2 was pretty seasonally normal, maybe a little stronger than normal by the time the quarter ended.
Stacey, I got to get in this question because we've seen a spate of suicides at these Foxconn factories in southern China as of late, which they also assemble products with made or Intel inside symbols on them. How does Intel feel about this situation?
Well, of course, you can only feel terrible about when somebody takes their own life. But that's a question you're going to have to ask to Foxconn. When we look at our factories, one of our key things is to create a great place to work. We have the same benefit package around the world in terms of how we treat our employees. It's something that we take very seriously.
Stacey, thank you so much.